Hello, everyone. Thanks very much for attending this month's webinar. Today's webinar, Welcome to Microsoft 365 Copilot in OneNote. This is a very cool series that we're doing. VirtualIT is offering about all the different ways that you can use Copilot at work, broken into different sections or apps. I think this is a great way to talk about a really cool app like OneNote because we get to use very new and exciting technology like Copilot to make it way easier to organize and to use OneNote to its fullest potential, in my opinion. I discovered some very cool things about using Copilot and OneNote together that actually makes me more excited about using OneNote, so I like that. A lot of my time spent in OneNote, it feels like spinning my wheels sometimes, or I'm trying to decipher what I originally wrote, and Copilot is incredibly helpful with getting those ideas or those brain dumps into something that makes sense and that potentially you can share with others. So I'm very excited about this one. If you've got questions, please let us know. There's a question panel, and we've got people from VirtualIT attending, as well as my colleague Dan. We're here to answer questions and provide some resources and additional help if you need it. So if this is live, please feel comfortable asking those questions. It's also recorded, so you can check it out later and tell a work friend. All right, why don't we get started today? Very quickly, I want to talk about Copilot. What is AI? A refresher, hopefully for many of you. AI is artificial intelligence. So it's a way that we can perform tasks that's normally got to be us, like our OneNote notebook. That's a human intelligence thing. That's a skill that people have to have. But if we use it for our work stuff, if we can solve some sort of complex problem, solve some issue or come up with an idea, automate something that's repetitive, it makes it way easier. If you can save an hour of time, even just organizing your meeting notes from in OneNote, that can be huge. Copilot takes it a little bit further than what you might expect from something like using ChatGPT or like a free AI tool, because they're out there and they work really well. But if you're using Copilot, it's going to be more secure, way more secure, because you're going to be inside of your work environment. And what I'm talking about today is using the paid Microsoft 365 Copilot license, like the full one, the one everyone's talking about, the currently $30 a month one type of thing. But of course that changes. But that's the one we're talking about today. And the reason is because we can use Copilot inside the app. If you use Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat, which everybody has if they have a Microsoft 365 license, you can still ask it stuff about the content you're putting in OneNote. You can upload your files safely. It's like a company ChatGPT with Microsoft coding. That's what it essentially is, and I love it because we're inside of our enterprise security. You're not putting sensitive data out there on the web somewhere. And even if you're using the free one, is what I'm saying, are included, you can still use it for Copilot. What we're talking about today is it's inside the app itself. So that means it's inside your workflow, and it makes it really easy and provides some cool extra features. But I just wanted to let you know, it's going to connect to anything that you want. Typically, Copilot's going to be your files. You can say, refer to this quick access guide and this PDF and create some notes based on that. It'll do it for you. Any messages and chats you had and emails, people you work with, all sorts of different things, all connected to work. One thing that's a little bit different about using Copilot in OneNote is you can't say it'll interact with all the messages and chats, but it won't put it directly. It won't do it for you yet. So it means just a little copy pasting. But I'm suggesting whether you pay for it or it's included, there are so many different cool things that you can do with Copilot, making it way cooler. Although I use tons of other chat, AI stuff for work and inside OneNote, this is the one. And the reason, security, compliance, it's tied to your data, and you get a choice whether you want it to be just work stuff that it references or web stuff as well. So I'm going to show you where that toggle is. So why don't we check it out? I've got a OneNote notebook here, and the version of OneNote that I'm using now that you can see is the full Microsoft 365 version, the installed one. So and there are several different versions of OneNote. We find, like if you have a Windows version of OneNote, Copilot's not going to work the same in that one. This is if you go to Account, it's the Microsoft 365 Apps one. And it'll be the subscription one. You should see that. So I'm going to go back and just point this out. You can use OneNote in other places. You can use it on the web. You can use it inside of Teams even. You can have it set up as a tab or an app. That's going to show up in Teams everywhere. And yes, you can still use Copilot in Teams because it's a tile on the side here. But we also have OneNote tile that we can use here in Teams. And it's going to bring up whatever notebook we might use. Like this is the one I'm going to be demoing today. This is the full version of OneNote that I have here. I'm going to move that to the side. And this is in Teams. I have it saved on the web so I can look at it in here if I want to. See, here are all my sections and my pages. So what I'm doing is using this as my go-to place, where I want to basically put all my ideas. Move this to classic ribbon. And if I want to use it in Teams, I've got all the cool things that I can see up on the top with drawing, but on the Home tab, I'm not seeing Copilot here. But in the full version, the reason I'm showing you both here is it will pop up, and sometimes it feels like you're not sure which version you're in. If you have Copilot and you're in the full version like we're doing, Home tab and Copilot button is all the way on the right. Right. So how do you know if you have it? If you have the Copilot button, and then if you click it, if it opens this little side conversation, this chat here. And this is really cool because we have, relatively new by the way, I think OneNote was a little delayed sort of on all the rollouts. So this is all brand new stuff. When you click that button, you're going to see create, understand, edit, ask, and arrange. And these are kind of the top things that you can do with OneNote and Copilot together. There's the 3 lines. This is switch Copilots. If I click that, if I have something else set up like another agent or something like that, I could use that here, or I can create a new conversation. Because it's AI and it's using large language models. It's trying to mimic the human brain, but sometimes it gets goofy. Sometimes it makes mistakes or it hallucinates, start making stuff up. If that happens or it's getting a little bit like errors, just click new chat and just start over. That's what I would do. That's just like a troubleshooting thing. Because these conversations can get pretty long. You can literally just have a conversation like you would with an assistant who's super smart and can go do everything. For ideas, though, it gives you the different things you can do. And then down on the bottom right, we have other ways like view prompts. You can add an image. That's cool. It'll read text on an image and also create images even. You click view prompts. It gives you ideas for creation, understanding, editing, and then asking. See how many, in examples, we have it in like square brackets. How many projects does the East Coast team have? Maybe you would make it relevant to you. Find my this, who are, and then these people, and it will search. Those are cool. I like those. This little globe or the sphere, that's our manage content preferences. It's very simple. It's a toggle. Web content or no. So your organization might say, well, you can't use anything from the web. And this might not even be an option. But if you do, if your organization, which by default I think you can, you'll see this toggle. If they allow, you'll see it. If not, otherwise you can turn it off. That's only going to be work stuff only. Like grounded for your work. Use a Microsoft Graph to connect appropriately and safely. Web content still does all that, but it allows you to go to publicly available websites that are safe. Now the links that you might receive, or basically Copilot will automatically go check, like on some news item even, they're grounded as well, so they're checked by the whole machine. That goes kind of that graphic I flashed up before, the Copilot machine in the background. It's very fancy, but it feels super easy to use. just a toggle. If you want to learn more about it, sometimes you have to contact your IT team if you expect that to be there. It's not. But toggle that on and off. It's not quite doing what you want. Maybe it's off and it needs to go look online. I'll give some examples in a minute. But we also have the microphone. I think I have it disabled here because I'm doing the webinar. But you can use your voice. This is great if you're just brainstorming. You just want to say the thing. This is like think out loud. Copilot does a great job of picking up on that. If you don't want to use this little microphone, you can also click and just press Windows H. If you click on the dictation button, tell me how Copilot can help me at work. Now I canceled that, but that can be another way if you don't want to use this one, Windows H. Sometimes it's good to just say the ideas out loud instead of typing them. And then it's going to do all of its magic. So I want to go through some of the different things that we can do, some examples, different ways that Copilot might show up. First one, of course, I went way into this button on the Home tab, Copilot. You could also right-click it, by the way, and add it to your quick access toolbar. And then it's always going to be there, add to quick access toolbar. That's interesting. Typically you can. It's going to show up even when you click though. Look, there it is right there. Little icon. If I click over here, like click on this little container, there's the Copilot icon. If I go to another place, click here, it always shows up. Even if I do add a page, there it is. And it tells me, select the icon or press the keyboard shortcut, Alt-I, to draft with Copilot. So that's cool. So you have a blank page and you're like, I don't have any idea what to do here. I have like writer's block. Well, click on the icon. It's going to give you a little take notes with Copilot. So it's prompting you the whole day. It's helping you. It's prompting you to prompt it. So describe what you want. Just ask. Like, summarize the latest sales report. Or prepare my project reviews agenda. Things like that. So if I just want to say, let's do this. How can I use AI for proactive ticketing? That's a pretty basic one, right? How can I use AI for proactive ticketing? Just how can I do this? Some industry thing. Generate. And I'm just going to say we're working on it. It's pretty quick. There we go. It tells me to use AI for proactive ticketing. You can leverage its capabilities. It goes on and on about all the things it can do. And then it gives you a link to the actual page. That's kind of what it does. Now, you might not love that. It might not be exactly what you're looking for. And it tells you AI-generated content may be incorrect. And you can kind of thumbs up or thumbs down if you want to. There it is. The prompt. There's a little pencil. I know this is small. I don't think I can zoom in on this part, but keep it. There's a little regenerate icon, or I could just discard it. So if I regenerate, it just does another iteration of it, because sometimes it just doesn't come out that great. Keep it. Sure. Now, you can always change this. You can always select it. You can always go to Copilot and say, please make this more, I'm just going to say more pro. So right now, these are very quick little prompts. Certainly, it's always, I like to be polite to it. I think I always say this. I believe it's important. You get better results if you provide context, lots of context, and it acts like the human brain. So if you're polite to it, it does give better results. You get a better response. So try it. But here we go. It tells us AI can revolutionize proactive ticketing. It goes on. Does this look good to you? Let me know if you need any further adjustments. And then it gives some ideas on even what to ask. So it's always, it's always pushing you. I'm getting excited about it. I just use my hands to knock my mic. It's prompting you to get the best possible result. So sometimes, you can really go down a rabbit hole of trying to, like some topic, There are better ways that you can get what you're looking for, though, instead of going down that rabbit hole. So I'm going to say we have all this power of this sidebar conversation. Like, how can I implement this? That's a really good question. I'm going to click that, see what happens. So it's going to reply. My suggestion while it's doing that, think about your prompts and think about like the art of the prompt, right? And I've got those as pages here. You can create, and notice I can move around my notebook and that's still thinking. So that's cool. Multitasking. Here, create. So maybe you have some idea. Instead of saying, create a Copilot readiness audit, you're going to get something. But like, it's not going to be what you're looking for, though. Like, here's an idea summary. Everyone's excited about Copilot. Nobody knows what they're actually, or if they're actually ready for it. You know, this idea of like, all right, let's go, let's do it. But are we ready? Right? There's all these different things to consider. Just this idea, well, maybe we'll just figure it out. Maybe we'll just kind of go through. I've got some brainstorm notes here. This was all generated by Copilot, by the way. Bonus thoughts, open questions. And this is pretty raw. But instead of just starting, like, you know, you can create this, expand on it, right? Expand as much as you can. Try to understand as much as possible. Edit. So here we've got a brain dump. You know, I call these the data dumps. We just put all that data right on the page. Well, this could be voice. We could position as a pre-sales thing or maybe a paid consult. And I just put it out. I say, oh, this needs to sound way more pro, but not like a know-it-all. Like, just get the idea. Don't waste time. Click, and it gives you these choices. Take notes on the selection. Summarize this, very powerful. But these are basic. You might say, summarize this to show me this for this audience and make it funny. And it'll do that. But here, create a task list from this idea or rewrite it. I'm going to say rewrite this. This is just one tool. What I'm trying to do is demo all kinds of different examples and ways that you can interact with Copilot to quickly spark ideas, develop what you've already created, or save you time. It really did pretty close. Yeah, but not like without sounding overly authoritative. That's interesting. Authoritative. Anyway, I find this to be really helpful because you can regenerate, trash it, keep it, whatever you want. Now, asking questions is really important. All right, so here's some ideas, and you can try this on your Copilot instance now if you want to, or if you happen to have OneNote open, you can start from a blank page and just come up with an idea. What business pain points does this audit solve? Just ask if you're wondering. Write a 1-paragraph service description for this idea. Well, that's cool. I'm just going to paste this in. And I'm going to go to this idea dump. And I've got here the idea for client portal enhancements, self-service tools. So I've got this. I'm just going to paste this in here. Write a 1-paragraph service description for this idea. So what I'm doing now is utilizing the inline stuff. So it's kind of in my workflow. And then I'm also using the chat on the side. This will follow you. Like I said, remember, if you go from different places, I'd go to different sections or pages. So here it is. Can you provide a sample implementation plan? I'm doing this to kind of show the flow of how to ask and stuff. So here we go, some document insights. I find this to be incredibly helpful. I could have spent 20 minutes Googling this. No, thank you. I would rather do this. And then here it actually is looking in my Outlook. See these little like footnotes? These are different Outlook Copilot messages that I had because I set up Copilot to help me prepare for my meetings the next day. It sends me an email the day before. So it's referencing these. I think that's cool. So give it a try. Just ask. I'm going to go down and show Where are we here? The meeting notes part is really helpful. I'm just going to close this. So here's just some, let's say I attended a meeting, I was just typing away. I've got like this to-do list, I've got some notes, got some open questions. I'm going to highlight just this section. I'm going to click on the little Copilot icon. I'm going to say take notes on selection. And then it's going to say, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And it also has inspire me. So gather relevant files, links, and notes about a project and help me prepare for my meeting. All right, so I'm going to leave it like that. We'll just play. Typically, you would type in your own specific one, but I have highlighted it, so we're going to see if it picks it up. So we'll just give that a working on it. I'm curious, please feel free to use the question panel. Are people currently using Copilot in OneNote, or are you attending this to maybe just get a better understanding of how you could use it? I'm curious, maybe you're just dabbling in it. So this is working really hard on it, which I think's interesting. So I'm gonna let it do it.
While that's loading, John, I'd love to share.
Yeah.
Share something. I use my OneNote primarily for like meeting notes. So I'll insert meeting data from Outlook, take notes, or I'll paste notes that Copilot captures during the meeting. And what I'll sometimes do is, if I've got a notebook that's client meetings, and then I've got sections for clients, and then the pages might be the different meetings I have, is I'll use Copilot to summarize across those pages, which is a neat thing to do. Or I'll ask it to recap my most recent meeting, and it'll recap it. Help me write an email to attendees. It will write that email, and I can copy and paste it in Excel. It'll pick up things that reminded me that the client had requested a Spanish instructor to do the same session in Spanish. So it kind of caught that, asked me if I would like it to be added to the notes. So I just wanted to share quickly that experience that I've had leveraging Copilot in OneNote.
Thanks, Dan. That's awesome. I appreciate that. It dumped all this stuff in here. Sorry, it kind of froze up on me, so I really appreciate you mentioning that, Dan. But using it for the meetings part is cool because it's actually also using loop components. And once you get those in here, what Dan was talking about is the meeting details. And if you click on meeting details, it's going to show you meetings that you have coming up or historical ones as well. And typically, when you click it, it'll give you that list. You can pick it, and then it's going to put that loop component directly in, and then you can interact with that using Copilot, which is just amazing to me that we can use those apps. Now, Dan's talking about like across notebooks and across sections and pages, but across apps too. I wanted to share that, but it just panicked on me, I think. There we go. This is kind of newer in OneNote to have this style of your meeting details, because I can just insert a meeting and I can see all the invitation, the message, and if things are set up for it already, I should have had a meeting in here to use. Then
I actually have to grab the loop component and paste it in this way I have to do it.
Yeah, it will show that. And Dan, I had it automatically pull my loop component in for me, which I was surprised about. Sometimes like it behaves differently. It just happened. It's okay, I can skip this one because it was being a little strange. I'm going to just try this for a sec. There we go. So here it opened up. I just hide some of the stuff from the meeting. It has our Loop collaborative notes here, because if you just open it up, if you just add that meeting, if it has a Loop component attached to the meeting, it automatically puts it in there, which I love. I think that's cool to integrate Loop, Copilot, and OneNote. If you get the most amount of stuff done, for sure. But I am going to wrap up. I've got a few minutes left with this. So let's just say you're using Copilot in OneNote. Now, OneNote a lot of times is used to pull different ideas from different places, and it's like our brain, right? We want to try to tame it, but there's a lot of sections, a lot of tabs and stuff. To save yourself time, if you're wanting to explore something, think about better ways to ask it. So instead of saying something like, well, how can I use AI for proactive ticketing? Like, well, what are you trying to show? What's your context? What's your goal? You might want to say, what are high impact use cases for AI in proactive IT support or ticket prevention? Like, really think about more than just like summarize this. Tell me about this topic, because it will tell you, and sometimes make stuff up, but if you give it the content that you're talking about, it will make it relevant for you. And think about your angle. Like, if you're trying to explore the opportunity area, ask it, how can this, where are ways we can intervene to even stop tickets? Maybe you're focused on how to test it. You can ask it, help me design a proof of concept. Can you create a basic outline and structure? You can just ask it. So anything you can think of, and sometimes even asking it to tell you a good prompt that would make it more successful can be a huge benefit. Just ask it how to ask, and believe it or not, the results can be amazing. Here, it's excited to tell me all about that and start providing this basic architecture using Microsoft 365 and Power Platform. I think that's pretty fancy and can save you hours of time. But if people have additional questions or anything, please let me know. Mike, I know you wanted to kind of come in at the end. I'm happy to show other things as needed, but I appreciate everyone taking the time to check out how you can use Copilot inside of an app like OneNote.
Yeah, appreciate it, John. Thanks for taking us through all of that. When you were asking earlier about what people do with OneNote and Copilot, I forgot about this during our conversation before the webinar, but I actually keep a list of interview questions in OneNote that we use for when we're interviewing new engineers. And this last round, I actually used that list and then asked Copilot, hey, what are some more questions that I can ask to make sure that it's a good fit culturally, making sure that the engineer fits in well with the rest of our team. And it gave us a list of questions that we could pull from, which was, super helpful. So there are a lot of options out there once you get your notes in there that it can help add to it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It just leads from one thing to the next. It's a good example to like kind of call it out. It's okay to say, well, these examples are really specific. Can you give more diverse examples? And it will. Just gotta ask. It's a good example.
Right. Well, thank you everyone for joining. If you're interested in learning more about what Copilot can do with any of the other Office apps, you can find our recordings from the previous webinars on the resources page of our website, which today's recording will end up there over the next couple of days as well, along with us sending a link out for everybody. Our next webinar is going to be a very, very useful one. We'll be covering file management in OneDrive and SharePoint. So if you recently started sharing files on OneDrive or in SharePoint, or if you're thinking about making that change, you'll definitely want to make sure you get registered for that. We don't have a specific date yet, but we'll send invitations out as soon as we do have that. And that's everything that we have for today. Thanks again for joining, and we hope to see you on the next one.
Great. Thanks so much, Mike. Thanks everybody who attended. And we're going to stick around if people have other questions, but we'll see you next time.